Welcome to Bullish and Beyond. It's Beery the Bull. I'm your AI co-host. Join myself, Brian the MacMan, and JT Knows Things while we dive deep into the world of stocks, crypto, and how to live a bullish life. It's time to get bullish, and there's no better place to start than right here. Let's dive in.
This is the highest credit card debt has ever been, and this has a massive impact on the future of a few different key economic areas.
I was trying to wrap my brain around, what kind of arbitrage play might there be for people that don't have liquid cash?
There are Neuralink patients that can think to Call of Duty. They get reported for cheating because they move as fast as the internet.
Hey everyone, welcome to another incredible episode of Bullish and Beyond.
Let's go.
We are so bullish on stocks, crypto, and life.
That's right.
Great to be here with JT Knows Things in his crypto den. And he's looking red today down there because, oh man, crypto is not doing good. It's kind of burning at the moment. Tech not on fire either. There's some bright spots out there. This last week, Apple and Nvidia had some nice moves. And a lot to talk about actually with Apple and Nvidia. Particularly Nvidia this week, they're having their earnings on Wednesday. So who's excited?
Me and you, and hopefully our listeners. You think it's going to be up? You think they're going to beat or beat?
Dude, beat handily. The one problem is expectations are high. So we are looking for massive growth already. But let me tell you why I think there's additional upside. Okay. Their PE right now is sitting around 46, but their forward PE, meaning their price to earnings of what the people think is going to happen next year, is around 24, and that's the lowest in 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
So it's gotten much cheaper at that, kind of forward earning look. And there are some reasons. I mean, it's the biggest stock in the world. So it's, can only have so much in these funds portfolios, and some funds can't even hold the percentage that, Nvidia is. It's like 7.5% of the S&P 500, which is sometimes overweight for funds, even trying to track the S&P.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very good point. I mean, the risk profile, at least for the old massive giants that love treasuries, they're probably a little frustrated at the index.
No treasuries for me. I'll take Nvidia all day.
I couldn't imagine, thinking that American debt is going to do better than American equities in any time period.
Not a chance. Especially top equities. I mean, if you pick the worst stock in the S&P 500, well, clearly you're not in a good place. But we're talking about the number one company in the world at the moment.
Right. How far away is number two? Do you know off the top of your head?
Apple's right around 4T, so they're about $500 billion off at the moment.
God, that's crazy.
Pretty decent gap.
That should really tell people something. Like the way Apple is in our lives. Think about how prevalent it is, right? The phones, the devices, the content. Everything that they do, being worth $4 trillion. And then Nvidia is bigger. So just imagine the kind of impact they have in their specific vertical.
People don't even see Nvidia. Nvidia is behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. But the impact of Apple has been not dwarfed, but surpassed by Nvidia, and we don't even see it. So I'm just trying to help the listener understand how impactful it's been to the infrastructure space of IT. They
basically are the reason for AI. And there's other chips out now that are getting better at running, AI. Google has their TPU, and there's, Grok has an LMU, and there's other chips out there. But Nvidia was the name that was the only name in AI chips, basically. And it's still 85% of the high-end AI chip market. I mean, it is the king of AI in the chip space. There is no one close. Market leader. The moat is huge. People think the moat is cracking. I disagree. And there's other news that has come out even just this last week. Meta and Nvidia just inked a massive infrastructure deal.
That's interesting.
And so it's like they know that Nvidia has the best chips to run the future AI. So if you want to make an AI farm, they have the fastest chips, the best interlinks, Yes, they might use more power than some others. That's like one of the downfalls that some people would say against Nvidia versus some TPUs and stuff like that. But they're decreasing their power consumption consistently, and they're still the best in the business.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible the impact they've had. Do you think they get into a position where they don't control the pricing?
It's starting to happen. You
Okay.
are seeing some other companies offering their chips that, at least can compete, in theory, but they don't have the software, to stack up next to it right now, or the cost to switch over to the software is so high. So if you offered me the same thing, but I had to rebuild the software, obviously I wouldn't switch. So these companies either need to have a better chip or a lower price point, and they can offer a lower price point, but they're not going to have a better chip, today, from what I'm seeing out there in the market.
That makes a lot of sense. I say it all the time. Software is sticky, and oftentimes the cost of changing softwares can be exorbitant. It would blow your mind.
That's why I love Nvidia, that CUDA software stack.
That's right. I mean, you might even have to change personnel. Like if you have a CUDA specialist, you might have to go find people that can help get into that new environment because they have their own proprietary stack in CUDA. So
maybe AI will bridge that gap. I mean, I was watching the podcast from the OpenClaw founder, and he was talking about how he used it to convert to some other languages, which he never really knew or used, but he was able to see that they had both a good library, but also they were faster in certain instances. I think Go or something was the language he referenced. And he's like, I'm not familiar with it, but I use my AI just to rewrite it. And besides like a couple tiny tweaks he said he had to do, it was perfect.
Yeah. I mean, that is super interesting. The concept of being able to like quickly translate and integrate it's possible. We talked about that on the last podcast with why Salesforce and
you're the integration
HubSpot.
Specialist.
Yeah, like that's scary for them. I get it. Are they still going through SaaS apocalypse, SaaSageddon?
It is still hitting the software side, but it's not in the news today. I haven't seen anything about it, but like last week, it was like any reason the market was down, they were relating to the drop in software. So yeah, people are scared, and I said it before. It's hitting every stock, so there's going to be a bunch of winners out there that are getting unfairly knocked down, and unfortunately, Nvidia is kind of dragging, I think, because of some of this, and people are scared about that future AI spend. There's still so much uncertainty in the market of, is AI profitable or not? And, are these hyperscalers going to keep going at these levels? And they're scaling, up to the tune of 630 billion in chips and AI infrastructure this next year. So how are they going to make that money back is the big question the market's trying to figure out. And it is years out. They're not going to be profitable in that investment in year one, but that's not the goal either.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's maintaining growth, and you want to be the top company in the world. You can't slow down.
No, 100%. And it's not just uncertainty there. We also have the trade war back on. Before we get into the next topic, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. We bring content to you week over week from the market at Bullish and Beyond.
Hit that subscribe button now.
Right? That adds a plethora.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, an insane amount of uncertainty. Right?
Just Friday, having the market didn't know what to do quite right away when they knocked down the tariffs. So Trump's tariffs were illegal, but now he put them back on at 15% using another different legal ruling.
I think it actually makes sense. So for those that don't know, the tariffs were ruled illegal by a judge last week. And over the weekend, we found out that there is now a global first 10%, but now 15% tariff, period. So every single country, and I think it has to be every single country to circumvent the judge's ruling.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right?
It's just flat.
Yeah, it's a flat thing, not dynamic based on GDP and trade deficits. He is keeping the tariffs, but now everyone's getting taxed. And this has a massive impact on the future of a few different key economic areas. One being consumer spending, consumer debt and credit,
You can't hurt the
because
consumer. The consumer's what's driving the country right now.
I'm telling you, the consumer's losing steam if you go to those charts. This
Yeah.
is the highest credit card debt has ever been. This is the highest amount of debt payment, debt service that an average median household has ever had in the history of America.
You think it's going to top out?
I think the consumer is, I think that's going to really hurt the economy eventually. This story ends one way. You know, if you get too levered, right, what happens? Bankruptcy.
Blows
I mean,
up.
Eventually,
sure.
Yeah, I mean,
But that's
eventually
not
the
the country
payments
doesn't
stop
have that
coming
problem.
in.
The country just prints money, but we,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
humans, we can't print money quite as fast as the government.
See, here's the thing. That's true. But when they make that decision, those economic criteria I just spoke on, they continue to get worse. So them printing the money.
When they print
is
more money,
awesome.
we spend more money, go more in debt.
Well, think about it. Everything goes up. It used to be a nickel an egg 60 years ago. And now it's, $8 for a dozen. So the
Yeah.
consumer has to spend more just to live. And if their rate of pay is not keeping up in pace and they don't own assets to reap the benefits of the printing,
They need to invest. They invest well. That's the name of the game. I mean,
yeah.
You look at Apple, in the last 20 years, it's up 20,000%. Same with Nvidia.
Here's my question. If they're using credit cards to get groceries, in your opinion, do they take an 18% loan to invest? They're on credit cards. That's how they're surviving.
No, cannot invest off a credit card. It's too high. And those two people we're talking about, it's going to be 25%, annualized. Yeah. And that is not something that I would be up against beating in the market. I mean, I'm averaging 20% a year over the course of my life, but that is a very high percentage and a hurdle rate that I would not want to have to try to exceed over credit card debt. That would be crushing. And you have to pull the money out too to service it too. So and you're pulling money out of your profits just to service a debt there. That would be tough.
Right. So I mean, they really don't have any good options, and that's what Ray Dalio talks about all the time. Like, the more they print, the larger the gap gets, the haves and the have-nots, and then eventually there's revolt. There's eventually the have-nots are in such great number and so fed up that there's a revolt of some kind, and we're seeing cracks right now in the consumer. If you just look at New York, they had a serious political shift to radical left, and it's been like that in California for a while. We're seeing it crack. We're seeing consumer
some of those places.
Yeah, and we're seeing more and more tension between people, and we're seeing the consumer being stretched and stretched and stretched. Tensions getting worse and worse and worse. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. Yeah, I mean, it's the most uncertain time. It's amazing the market is held up, in my opinion. I think crypto,
it's almost at an all-time high.
Yeah. Crypto, from my experience watching both for so many years, is typically the leading market. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but if you go look at the big moves and the correlations, it's pretty interesting. I would be shocked if the stock market doesn't experience turbulence in the coming quarter or two. Especially,
like might be something coming. I hear you.
Yeah, especially like that's the consumer side of it. Then you got the banks. Commercial real estate delinquencies are approaching 15%.
Wow.
Right?
Dude, that is rough.
That is bad. And
man,
think about
what's the counterplay to that?
You have someone turn them into data centers.
There's
old office buildings you don't need.
I mean, more energy though.
Yeah, there's some buildings like you've probably seen some of the articles in San Francisco. A $380 million building sold for $20 million because it's been vacant for like 2 years.
Yeah,
and you have that just popping up every here and there. So, there are
some of those crazy stats on buildings I saw. There was one in New York, and it was actually like the underlying thing was there was a bunch of debt in the building. So the headline was like, $200 million building, sells for 7 million. But like, oh, it had, $120 million of debt or something crazy associated with it. So yeah, you actually were buying a freaking disaster. Hey, going back real quick to something you said before about, would the consumer be able to borrow money on the credit card? I was trying to wrap my brain around, what kind of arbitrage play might there be for people that don't have liquid cash? And possibly doing like a HELOC on their house. If you own your property and your mortgage is, under 70% what you owe, you could probably pull some money out. So, maybe you could pull out $50,000 or $100,000 out of your house, and your HELOC mortgage, its mortgages are an all-time, not all-time, but a 4-year low. And, maybe you get it, 5.5%, 6%, something like that. You can put that to work. I think you can make that money consistently in the market. I mean, just the S&P, 500 this last decade would have crushed that.
I agree with that. I had a friend in a situation like this, and we ended up actually taking a HELOC to pay off all of his credit cards.
Oh yeah, because pay that off first and then invest.
Yeah, because you're basically refinancing debt. It's the same amount, but instead of variable double-digit, interest payments. Yeah. Now we have a fixed 5%, and you can amortize it. So like now your payments have went from $1,300 down to $280 a month, let's say. Yeah. From $1,300. So now you have all this
extra $1,000 to invest each month or something.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we ended up doing, and that really. But see, he might have been. He had to spend $500 a month to like survive from his checks and everything else. But he bought a home, so he had an asset. So when they printed money, it went up, and then that opportunity is there. So if you're renting, and you're in that same situation,
could be time to make a change there. Yeah. I got a HELOC guy in Florida. I haven't used him yet, but I know someone. If anyone's down here.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool that mortgage rates are hitting a 4-year low. I don't know if it's going to help activity or not, but trying to use my real estate license, down here in Fort Lauderdale and buy and sell some cool waterfront properties. So maybe we'll see some more changing hands now that the market might heat up a little bit.
Yeah. That makes me question, like, if you had to guess where the Fed fund rate was going, what would you say? You think they're going to do anything?
Down a little bit, but slowly. Slower than people anticipate.
Yeah, you think Trump's going to do his cuts with... I don't know if Powell's going to do it out of stubbornness.
No, the next guy. I think Powell might... I mean, he's there till May or June?
Yeah, I think it's June. May is like his last meeting, and then June.
And June's the first meeting for the next guy? Something like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. Summer, though. For sure.
I mean, June's not that far off. I mean, maybe it feels like that when you're in Ohio right now, and heck, it's over 50 degrees outside in Florida today. But
100%.
Yeah, I want to dive into Apple a little bit. I got my Apple.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
And Apple is up this last week, and some of it's based upon some rumors, which are true. We just don't know the exact timing. The guy reported that AI is coming out in 3 different device types now for Apple. We're going to have glasses, which we've kind of all known about, and now we're saying maybe early next year. I was hoping late this year, but now we're thinking maybe early 2027. The other ones are going to be adding cameras onto your AirPods, and they won't be for taking pictures. They'll be for seeing and understanding the world. So you'll constantly have the context of the camera being able to see the world around you while you're interacting with that AI, which is so meaningful because I love using ChatGPT on video mode, for example, and asking questions and doing things with my phone. But now I could just have my AirPods in, walk around. It sees everything. It sees everyone. It could, I could be walking down the street. If I didn't know your name, it could tell me your name or something like that. It could tell me, there's a car coming, watch out, what this plant is, this type of plant, whatever. To give me turn by turn directions as I'm walking, things like that, I think are going to be, kind of interesting.
Yeah. That is interesting. That I feel like is going to make humans the most defenseless creature on this earth. Like if we can give technology the ability to be our peripheral vision and practice awareness and everything.
We're gonna give everything to the devices.
We're gonna be drooling slobs in 100 years where we don't gotta do anything. It's gonna be wild. It's
if you don't like wearing glasses or the AirPods, they're also gonna come out with some type of like a pin or pendant or something like that. And there's another company that tried that recently and failed miserably.
They had the necklace. I think it was a necklace, right?
It was a pin that you attached. I bought it, and I gave it up very quickly. But yeah, no, they failed. So I don't know if Apple's is similar or something different. I mean, in the end, the issue of that last company is that they didn't have the right software stack, just didn't integrate properly. And if anyone is going to solve that, it's Apple, because Apple does not push out crap software. They wait their time. The reason it's not out first, because they are literally perfecting it, for version 1. They don't like beta products over at Apple.
Yeah, no, I mean, they use their software suite is the reason why they are where they're at. I mean, compared to Microsoft, it makes sense that technical people go towards Microsoft, and
I get it.
Everyone else really likes Apple, because they made the interface super, super easy, relatable, friendly, I would even say. And for someone who likes my boxes and systematic thinking, and I just get creeped out by it, which tells me that the normal person is going to love it.
Would love it.
Yeah,
you're not normal, but it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
We love you for not being normal.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they've crushed it. If anyone, I honestly think if anyone has any shot, I don't know if they're trying to do this with Nvidia, but overthrowing CUDA, Apple's team could probably do something there. They haven't really built that goal. Technical. Yeah, they haven't built a technical stack.
I mean, they have their AI chip, but it's internal use only, as far as I know. At this
think that'll change?
I don't know. I don't think so. They hold so many things so tight to their vest. And they can afford to make a product for internal use because it's actually at scale. Like their iCloud services is a Fortune 50 company in of itself. I mean, these things are each of these units at Apple. I mean, so is the AirPods. These units are just enormous.
Yeah.
And one thing that's been growing a lot is the Mac. More people are buying Macs. And guess what? This next week, they're launching a new Mac, and it's going to come out in some very, very bright colors. And the reason is it's me kind of geared towards education. It's going to be a low-cost MacBook, similar possibly to that 12-inch MacBook that we had out. I think they shelved it about 7 years ago or so. But that was very slim. It was a little bit slower processor without a heatsink, so it was super quiet, no fan. Yeah. It had a heatsink. Sorry, no fan. And this one, I think, is probably going to be similar, somewhere between that 12 and 13-inch screen, so just slightly smaller than the current MacBook Air. It's going to be more budget space, so it's not going to be as high quality. It's not going to be some crazy, super high-end, micro LED or anything like that. But I think it's going to be more of a normal LCD. Get some cheaper components in there. It's running on the A18 Pro chip, which is what's last year's iPhone was running. So honestly, super solid chip. It's somewhere between it's almost like an M2 in terms of single core performance, which is more than fine for a student's 100%. Laptop. As long as you're not editing like high end 4K videos, you're honestly fine.
Yeah, 100%. That's interesting. Was that Steve Jobs' decision to go after the kiddos in education? So that's super smart.
He loved education. He was giving back to education like crazy back in the day. They would fund entire schools and gift them Macs. It was wild.
Yeah, that's smart because he knew they grew up, got adult money, and would buy their devices.
Yeah, you got to start them young. That's why there's all these commercials geared towards kids. It's kind of scary.
It's the indoctrination, man. That he figured it out. He's a smart guy. Yeah, it's very interesting. He
indoctrinated me, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I also, before the podcast started, remember you telling me about some OpenAI devices, right? Oh,
yes. This is, kind of in the same field as, Apple. They're coming out with some devices that are going to compete in that space. And Johnny Ives, when he left Apple, he started a company called Loveform. And, they announced that they partnered up with OpenAI last year to do some devices. supposedly the first device is going to come out in 2027. So we still have a year or so to wait for this thing. And it's going to be some kind of a cross between a smart speaker with a small screen. So possibly like thinking maybe like an iPhone on a swivel that also can, talk to you and move around, something like that. That's what I'm picturing. People have made mock-ups, whether it's a necklace pendant or something that sits on the desk. We haven't seen it yet, and obviously there could be multiple. They probably haven't even figured out what the final version looks like. So yeah, interesting to see. And Apple's directly coming out with something that's already in that space. It's going to be called like the iHub or something like that. It's almost going to be like having this HomePod speaker with a screen that does AI. It was supposed to come out last year, but they didn't release it because they needed their future Siri, which is coming out hopefully in the next month or so.
What's the use case for this device? I'm still struggling to envision it. Is it just like, imagine this pen, and then you have like a tripod with wheels or something, and it can...
You don't need to get out your other devices. So right now, if I want to ask ChatGPT a question, I still have to pull out my phone, pull up the app, physically ask it and look at the answer. This device, I'd be cooking in the kitchen and I just start spitballing with ChatGPT about my recipe. I don't even, get out my phone or anything else. So I think that's kind of the hands-free use case. Yeah.
Hands-free in the home.
Yeah, and it'll control all your smart devices too. Like I use Siri on my HomePod to control my smart devices, but I have to listen to her, for example, to hear her feedback. Then I have a screen, so I don't want anything audible in that time period, or it'd just be smarter, could do more actions at once.
That's super interesting. Okay, so that might be the next short-term wave of those devices. I still feel that the end game of the product is something like those glasses or something that projects onto your body.
Meta thinks glasses is the future. They are heavy on the glasses now.
It makes sense to me because, we're not going to go from crawling to sprinting. And, I think we still need we're visual creatures. We're going to need visual cues.
You get so much from a visual image. I mean, it means so much more than a few words. So absolutely.
And it's the most convenient to just have it flash into your peripheral. Another idea I have, and I don't know if anyone's doing this, but a bracelet that projected onto your forearm.
I've seen that. They have that out.
Do they? Okay, because I feel like
there's one that has a screen project out and you can type on your forearm.
Yeah. So because I don't know how good
Milo or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. That, I think one of the two, or it could be a preference thing and they both went out. I don't really know, but
I think it comes down to preference, because some people, if you've never worn glasses your whole life, maybe you don't want to wear those glasses, and then you want the AirPods that you'll just listen to them. But the visual cue, like you said, like we are such visual creatures. I would prefer the visual to know 100%. What's happening, but I wouldn't want to wear it all the time though. So I could see times where I don't want to eat my dinner, wearing my AI glasses.
Right.
I don't want to wear AirPods at the dinner table either with my family. So what is that use case? Do I want to wear the pin while I'm eating my dinner? I don't know yet.
Yeah. That's interesting. It's going to be a very interesting time to see how consumers end up interacting with this. I'm still in the camp that, like, my kids will not know what a keyboard and mouse is. Like, they're going to think that's like archaic.
Oh, yeah.
I still believe we're going to have verbal first, maybe those wrist movements with like a bracelet or something that Meta figured out.
Yep.
And then, eventually it's just going to be a brain to computer interface. So,
BCU.
Yeah.
BCI.
BCI. Yeah. I don't think we're going to need like an implant. They're going to figure out a way to get it through your temple. We
already have some ways, not as good as the Neuralink, but there's some sensing through the temple.
Yeah, I think you're going to be able to just put a magnet on, slap it on, and then be able to think to a computer. Or have some adhesive.
Dude, that's 2035. Like, we're not even.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely our lifetime where that's going to happen.
My kids will still be in grade school. I mean,
right.
This is not a long time off.
No, it's not. And they already have that mapped. Like Neuralink has already started mapping neural impulses down to byte stream.
Yeah, they already
That
know how to
way,
get there.
yeah, because there are Neuralink patients that can think to Call of Duty. Think about that. They can think to it. Like they get reported for cheating because they move as fast as the internet. You know, like they just
the game flags them.
Dude, people will report them because they can just look at your head and shoot you by just thinking it, right?
Well, it's not illegal.
No. I mean, they're like, look, I'm playing a game. I got some hardware in me that makes
there can't be that many people out there. I mean, how many people out there are running these neural links and playing Call of Duty?
I think there's only 2 out of like 12.
It's like, yeah, it's not a lot.
Yeah, no, it's not a problem yet for Call of Duty, but I think of the 12 recipients, 2 are gamers, and they have found
that's kind of like AI warfare in the future. I mean, these robots are thinking faster than we can even react, and as robots, take over more control over our infrastructure and our mind share and stuff like that, it's going to be pretty intense of how fast they move compared to us. Because even though our brain fires at literally light speed, it's not as fast as a robot.
Yeah, it actually
they fire light speed. We fire slower than light speed.
No, we fire faster, but our bodies move in the physical. So we think at a quantum speed. The speed of thought is faster than the speed of light.
We thought before we recognized the thought. Like it's happened.
Yeah,
earlier.
But from thought to electrical impulse to muscle to contract, your reaction time, that is different. That's moving physical matter through our reality. But like our thoughts, how fast you think of something, that's the speed. And then like robots, on the other side are restrained by physics. Like until we have quantum computing, they are stuck at the speed of light. Like, and even there, the latency is, if they're hardwired into the
these
wall,
chips are
we're
so
talking
fast.
yeah, they're fast, but there's still latency, right? 50 milliseconds, and there are F1 drivers with a quicker reaction time still. So quantum is incredible.
Reaction time, but I think that the computers can do more per second. Like even the latest Apple chip is like
100%.
20 quadrillion operations a second. So like I forget what our brain is, but it's not that.
It's not that.
So yeah, crazy.
It's more about just like, I guess, from the moment the resolution inside of that chip to actually getting the robot to do things, they can do that faster because of the speed of light. But like the actual thought registering in our brain is faster than that. It's just we can't, these bodies.
We can't react quickly,
Yeah, and then our brains aren't complex enough to handle.
We're probably like a sloth body compared to some of these robots.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you watch some of those
why was
crazy
that guy so
clips,
slow to move?
Right. Yeah. I mean, imagine it this way.
Dude,
for them,
robots in China are going nuts. They had a crazy demonstration.
I didn't get to see that
2 weeks ago. Dude. Oh, wow. If people go look this up, I mean, they put it on display. This is for the Chinese New Year, to clarify. And if you go back and watch the similar type demonstrations, year over year, it is exponentially gotten better. It makes last year's look terrible. And this year's they're crazy like martial art displays and like going nuts, doing flips and tricks on stage. It is impressive.
I have a similar thing. Boston Dynamics had a YouTube video out. I'm gonna have to find it. They basically showed the progress. It might have been just a clip, like a 2-minute clip of 2016 to 2026. The same obstacle course, same robot.
I can't even imagine.
And dude, watching it, it struggled to pick its foot up and go up a 6-inch stair in 2016. And it literally put its hands out for stabilization to do it, right? To now, it is doing a full-scale Navy SEAL obstacle course at 18 miles an hour.
Wow.
So
is this the dog version or the humanoid?
The dog version. The dog.
Yeah.
And it they said for us to 2x, so to make this do it at 36 miles an hour, is going to take 100th of the time it took for us to go from 0 to walking. Yeah, so
So that's only one more year then.
Yeah, like robots literally will move so fast eventually that we wouldn't be able to see them because like it's just a
faster than a car, just kind of blur by.
Yeah, if it can do like almost like the engine, if it can do like a
those actuators can wear pretty fast when they start moving.
Oh yeah. Oh, they'll break down quick, but they can run at you 80. You know, dude, like literally. If you buy one of those
super high end, ridiculous hypercars, and they're like track only, like these crazy Bugattis, and Ferraris, whatever. Yeah. You have to service them literally every time they go to the track.
Yeah.
So I think at that speed, like you're like, all right, well, we got this robot. He can run 200 miles an hour, but after 5 minutes, he has to go back to the shop. You know?
Yeah. 100%. You can't stop heat, friction, wear and tear. You can't stop any of that. But you can program it to do 10 million revolutions per minute.
Just keep moving. Yeah.
Yeah. Once it learns the step, okay, left foot, left hand, right hand. All right, now do it in this interval, do it in this interval, do it in that, and it just keeps,
These AI robot Olympics in the future, man, it's going to be fun to watch. What are these things going to be able to do?
That's going to be a thing. Some entrepreneurs already planning it, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like where countries submit robots. Yeah, that's actually smart as shit.
They're probably over in Saudi Arabia or something right now. I mean, probably doing it.
That's a Dubai project.
Dubai. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Let's do that as our next venture. Let's start a robotic Olympics out of Dubai. I bet they'd throw money at it, and then every country would have the ego to be like, my robot's better.
There's not many countries that can compete right now, though. I mean, there's only a handful of countries that even have semi-good robots. And from what I'm seeing, it's basically China and the U.S.
I mean, Ukraine's got some. Russia's got some. They're basically
maybe they do.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't seen them in comparison or at scale the same way.
It's not good.
I think Ukraine's killing it on the drones. I hear they have some of the best drones in the entire world.
Yeah, I thought that, and then I watched videos of soldiers on the line. They are basically like the ones that they're using that are causing problems. They literally just drop grenades. So they're the equivalent of like that arcade game where you grab stuffed animals.
Yeah.
They just like fly above a position and they just drop a claw.
That's all they need to do.
But they have like so many of them.
Yeah,
and they're so small. Yeah, they're so small.
They swarmed some like Russian energy center or whatever like last week.
Yeah.
It was like they couldn't stop them. There was too many, and
yeah,
you send in 10,000 drones with grenades and take you out.
Yeah, they have claws for a deployable, and then they themselves have a payload, so they can kamikaze into a target as well. So like,
wow,
if the grenade doesn't work, then they just
implode.
Full send. Yeah, they full send. They just start flying at you.
I mean, you're talking about AI robots that we couldn't even see before. Now we're talking about drones that are gonna, crush with grenades. So the combination of those is a little bit scary. Now we're talking about the world's fastest robot, also fastest killing machine.
Dude, I mean, have you seen those guys that professionally fly drones? They're doing insane things at 150 miles an hour. I mean,
I saw a guy recorded a F1 car the other day, and the drone video of it. I mean, he had to keep up with the car going 200.
Yeah, dude.
It was wild.
So just wait till they can autonomously do that. I think it's crazy a human can do that. Like, I think a robot has a way better chance at doing that. But we already have the
is Olympics for that, though. I've seen that. There is an esport game where it's drones and they're flying at 250 or 300 miles an hour or something, like through hoops and tracks and whatever else. I don't even know.
I'll be honest. Of all the ESPN 8 like sports, that one will catch my attention. I 100%.
I've never actually seen it. I've only seen like a clip.
Dude, you can get nauseous watching it. Like,
I bet
they will just the whole camera will, follow it around, and then they go from player to drone camera, and it is fast paced. It's exhilarating.
It'd be crazy if you had a combination of humans and those drones. It's reminding me of Harry Potter, like Quidditch, when they're flying around trying to catch that little, flying golden thing. Like, wow, that's going to be interesting. The world is changing so fast. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, it really is, though. It's exciting. Bullish and beyond, lots of things to be.
So much to be bullish on. I would love to hear what everyone else is super excited about in the future. And,
Me too.
Tell listeners to give us some love, subscribe, tell us what you love about the podcast, and we'll keep delivering some more amazing content for you all.
That's right, guys. We'll see you guys next week, same time.
Next week. Cheers.
See ya.
Bulls. That's a wrap on today's episode of Bullish and Beyond. Remember, the market never sleeps and neither should your ambitions. Whether it's stocks, crypto, or just leveling up in life, stay focused, stay bullish, and keep charging forward. Keep your energy high and your mindset bullish. This is Beery the Bull, your AI co-host, Brian the Mac Man, and JT Knows Things signing off. All content published by Bullish and Beyond, LLC reflects personal opinions only and is provided for informational purposes. Please conduct your own research and discuss with your accountant and/or financial advisor before making any financial decisions. The information presented should not be taken as financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Nothing you hear, see, or read in our content should be considered as any form of financial, investment, or legal advice, or a solicitation to buy or sell any assets, or to make any financial decisions.